Welcome to the internet, live from the Marriott Library at the University of Utah. This is the Red Line Podcast. I'm your host,
Extended Silence.
And these are my co-hosts,
Kyle Holland and
Alex Fielder. Today we're taking a break from our usual content to discuss the Shweeb, the unusual pedal-powered gadgetbahn that's been all the rage since the Tom Scott video. We'll talk pods, Shweeb-bahn, and more after the news.
The news is here for you.
News.
Okay, Kyle. We have excellent news today in the ongoing fight to get ridership back up to snuff. Today, the Edmonton Transit Service has announced that it is now getting 100% of pre-pandemic ridership on its bus system, proving that Canada is, in fact, built different when it comes to transit. Their quick rebound is credited to bus network frequency improvements, an ongoing effort to improve service, and a new and simplified fare payment system. Although ridership on the city's light rail is not yet all the way there, this is a great start for getting transit back on track across the continent.
Wow.
Is this one of those cause and effect things I keep hearing about?
No, you see, what they did is they made it free. And that fixed their ridership problems.
Oh.
That's not true. That was a lie. That was me being facetious. What
They
fixed their
made the
ridership
service
problems was
better?
they're making the
Okay.
service good.
Yep. So did they make it better than pre-pandemic service, or did they just actually bring it back up?
They brought it back up, and then they were smarter with it, because if you're like a transit operator, you have a certain number of bus operations hours you can use, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So instead of being stupid and running like, an hour bus down every suburban subdivision road,
Imagine
they
you
just
if you
did
campus shuttle.
10-minute buses on all the arterials and some like micro transit service to fill in the gaps and such. So
Okay.
it's a winning formula in their case.
Well, good for them.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that happen in the great USA.
I mean, around here we've
That's
actually
fun.
been doing that a bit, like replacing the Rose Park bus system with like the one.
That is not comparable.
And that
Yeah,
was
That is
bad.
not comparable.
Yeah.
Alright, that's
Like,
fair.
We replaced, 2 half-hour buses with a half-hour bus and a 15-minute bus and a micro-transit service.
And buses that people were used to and relied on.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
people were
Yeah.
not, unhappy with is the fun part. They, took, 20 suburban bus routes and, that were running every half hour, except during rush hour when they were running, every 5 minutes, into, 10 all-day more frequent routes is what they did, basically. So they took something that was already better than what was in Rose Park and then just consolidated. So instead of
Gotcha.
walking 5 minutes, you walk 10 minutes to the bus, but it comes a lot more often.
Mm.
I think that's a fair trade-off.
I think we
And-
could do that with the Kearns bus grid. You could replace a bunch of crappy half-hour and hour
I
buses
don't
with
think
terrible
you
span of
could
service
replace-
with one 10-minute bus on one street.
But Kearns, those are all a mile apart, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm making a joke about how you actually have to have this problem in order to solve it.
We gotta get more buses than that in the first place if we want to do this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, good job, Edmonton. And the light rail isn't that much below. This makes it sound, it's 85%. So also calling it, quote, light rail is a little bit funny given that it's almost fully grade separated. But, Oh, and also the Valley Line will be opening
We've
soon.
been over how Canada does
Yeah.
light rail completely differently.
Canada is built different, some might say.
Yeah.
Yep.
Such as me.
Such as us. It's like the first thing in the description of the last episode.
Yeah. So, this hath been Les Affaires, which is the news in French.
I'm going to start saying that the campus shuttle system should do an Edmonton transit.
No, the campus shuttle system should cease to exist.
Why?
Why?
The money should be given to UTA instead.
Yeah.
Because it would be more useful. Because almost no one who's riding the campus shuttle actually needs to be riding the campus shuttle. If we're being honest.
We could make the campus shuttle a useful system that helps with longer trips.
The university is a mile long.
I sent you a map of how I would like to serve longer trips. We got to handle East and West Village housing. We got to hit the far reaches of the hospital all the way down to President's Circle, that sort of thing.
But the Orange Loop does not, service from Fort Douglas to main campus simply does not need to exist. We have an entire bridge for that.
They,
I don't see
you
why
are
it
right,
shouldn't.
but
I found
It's kind of
just an excuse to not walk uphill. Is the only thing
But
I can't.
I found it
was for
useful
most
earlier.
people.
I was at engineering. I caught a 2A or whatever
I-
up to medical, and I caught a circulator, and then bam, I'm at the PHC in like 7 minutes.
as someone who took it sometimes living on campus, it was nice in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I just think campus shuttles in general is.
You
is
only think it's
stupid.
bad because it's slow. If it was faster, I think you'd be more inclined to ride it.
No, I don't think I would.
I think we
And
should.
more frequent. Both of which are perfectly attainable with current
Anyways,
funding.
moving on.
The show.
So, to Kyle's eternal mortification, what is Shweeb?
You're fired.
You can't fire me. I quit.
Great, no unemployment for you.
I have to bleep that. YouTube's being bleeped now.
I thought YouTube was a new swear word.
Oh, yeah. YouTube's being a YouTube. That's right.
Anyway, the Shweeb
The Shweeb was a pedal-powered personal rapid transit system that would have used pedal-powered pods to move riders along a suspended monorail track.
You missed the word proposed, which seems to be included with most of these gadget bonds.
It's not proposed. That was a typo.
Oh.
There's one that exists
Oh.
in New Zealand.
Have you seen the video or no?
No, I have
Tom
not
Scott-
seen the
Okay.
Tom
You
You
Scott
see, the
video.
Tom Scott video is the impetus for this
I
because
saw the thumbnail and I'm like,
I'm a
wow,
shameless hype
that's a
chaser.
stupid idea.
Yeah.
I'm a shameless hype chaser, so I'm trying to leverage Tom Scott
See-
to make
Yeah,
us
and unlike
a
Tom
show
Scott,
better.
you don't actually go see things.
Yeah, because we don't make enough money for that.
I wonder if
Donate
this
to our
is...
Patreon.
Do you think he did this because he's now not scared of roller coasters?
I mean, maybe.
Yeah?
It is an amusement. Well,
It is an amusement park ride. So, going on to like technical details of the Shweeb, the pods were meant to be made out of clear plastic with holes for ventilation. Riders would sit in a recumbent position, laying on their backs with their feet facing the front and pedaling. Initially, the idea was to make, quote, trains, unquote, of pods to allow for greater aerodynamic performance as well as greater speed. And there were also ideas about putting stations at an elevation above the rest of the track to allow for fast starts, and then you would have like, a little roller coaster deal that will up into the station, then you get like a little boost going out of it.
And this is better than a paved bikeway, how?
Also, they wanted to store the Shweeb pods at every station, like those like racks they have at dry cleaning places.
the
Like,
rotating ones.
yeah, on those, and then you would pull one off, hook it into the Shweeb, and then get into it and get off onto the
It
track.
sounds like bike share with so many extra steps.
Grade separated bike share.
Huh.
Yeah, so
It sounds very accessible. for
the
everyone.
FRA would still find a way to call it light rail, but
They would.
did you see that they posted they did a BART station modernization in Oakland, and then like on Twitter and Facebook they posted like, this light rail station is 42 years old and was in desperate need of modernization thanks to the FRAs. And I'm like, sir and or ma'am and or them, calling BART a light rail is like objectively very funny.
It's a pretty long light rail, isn't it?
Yeah, 700 feet trains,
Yeah, I got some
10
hybrid-
cars, 79 miles an
That's a
hour,
nice
fully
light rail
grade separated,
system.
yeah.
That's pretty good.
You could almost call it light metro.
I mean, it is sort of automated. So, yeah, and then it was designed in New Zealand, which is also where the first prototype was built, in an amusement park. It's like a racing attraction deal, as featured in the aforementioned Tom Scott video. So, yeah, I think that Kyle put it sort of good. Or sort of well. It's like a fully grade separated bike share with stations.
I mean, it made it farther than most, like, obviously stupid gadget bonds, and that there is a functioning prototype built that you can go play on.
There is a functioning prototype, and it does, like, work. Like, they put, like, electric assist in it so that it would work better, and they can get you up to, like, 25 in those things now, so.
Yeah, when I picture it, well, because I watched the video, of
Right.
course, it feels like something they would put in Futurama, or like a future TV show.
Right.
It feels like one of the most, like, outlandish, just ways of getting
Jetsons.
around. Very Jetsons, yeah.
Yeah, like, you know that Futurama thing that we talked about when we were doing, like, the first episode of the podcast where, like, you know, the auto companies put out all that stuff. I feel like along with, like, the elevated pedestrian walkways, if they'd known about it, they would have done, like, you know, dedicated cycle tracks, except it's a monorail.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
So-
we should put this on the Las Vegas Strip to go with the ped bridges.
Actually, that would be kind of cool.
People would ride it. I feel like it would be a very popular drunk
It would
attraction.
be a very popular attraction. I think that the main issue with the Shweeb is, like, how do you do signaling? How do you keep people from just slamming into each other all the time?
Big
Gonna put
brains.
Rubber bumpers.
Big, like, comically large springs on each end.
That sounds kind of sweet.
It's not what I would call the main issue with this idea, but, you know,
Well,
sure.
and then how do you switch to other tracks without, like...
You don't.
You don't. You
No.
get out and then do a transfer to a different Shweeb.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep, linear
Cool.
transfer.
Great.
Yeah.
We love those here. So, I mean, there's, you know, obviously some technical issues, but, like, in
And
terms of
practical
gadget
issues.
bonds, it's
I-
not that bad.
I like it more than that weird Chinese thing that went over the
The
cars.
Sky Bus?
Yeah, I like it more than the Sky Bus.
Yeah, in terms of stupidly auto-oriented gadget bonds, you're not wrong. It's not the worst one.
I don't think this one is meant to be auto-oriented.
Yes, it is, because the only reason you'd put bikes in the air is so you can have more dangerous cars on the ground.
Well, we haven't talked about the person who created it yet, so hold on and reserve your judgment. And then also, no, never mind.
Good point.
Thanks. So, the Shweeb was dreamt up by Jeffrey Barnett, an English teacher who was almost hit while riding his bicycle in Tokyo one too many times.
Relatable.
He dreamt of a world where cyclists would be absolutely safe from road traffic, which, as I said, is kind of based, actually, even if it is a gadgetbahn. Like, you know, but apparently he's a tech bro, so his mind went to suspended monorail instead of bike lane.
Huh?
And safe intersections and reduce speed limits.
Yeah, so he came up with the idea in the early 2000s. An initial prototype, which still exists today, was built at a New Zealand theme park in 2007. And then in 2010, the Shweeb was selected from a pool of over 150,000 potential ideas to become one of 6 projects to receive $1 million from Google for innovation.
Yeah, I could see this was something that would get installed on a Google campus.
Right?
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool, actually. You go from, you have, it around the whole big donut, right, of Google, and then you get in on your office, and you Shweeb down to the cafeteria, and then you Shweeb back to your office.
Wow, it's like bicycling on the ground, except lower capacity, more expensive, and more difficult.
And cooler.
Wow.
See, I don't know if it's that much cooler.
I mean, it's a suspended monorail, so...
Yeah, but Shweeb.
That is true. Shweeb is kind of like a dork name.
Well, I feel like the theme park really lucked out with this one.
I
Because
know.
they got a free attraction, which is one of a kind.
Well, and they get to franchise it now, because if you remember from the video,
Mhm.
they bought the IP when the company went under in 2018.
8 years after getting $1 million.
Yeah, so after 2012, or 2010, when they got the money, they basically just disappeared. And they were
Suspicious.
responding to emails up until 2014 about how they're trying to make it work, and then they kind of just went bankrupt 4 years later. So, rip Shweeb Inc.
Shweebing.
Shweeb Inc. So that's the Shweeb. The Shweeb, it sure Shweebs.
Shweeb's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say so. What do you think, Kyle? Does it Shweeb?
No.
Wow.
I think regular asphalt Shweebs more than the Shweeb.
No, I think the Shweeb's
The
the most
Shweebs.
out of all the Shweebs.
Yeah, if you donate $20,000 to our Patreon, we will go to do the Shweeb.
Yeah.
Actually, I think we really need probably more. What do you think a flight to New Zealand costs? $1,000?
I don't want to know.
More than that, probably.
Probably more
round
than
trip,
that.
$2,000-$3,000.
That's really far.
Yeah, it's
Okay, well,
We'll do the
$20,000.
calculations.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, and then we'll,
And then-
get all of our rich benefactor to to pay for our New Zealand trip to ride the Shweeb.
Shweeb.
So where does the idea for the Shweeb come from? Like, where are its origins? So the name and the idea for the Shweeb come from suspended railways, which are kind of like an orphan invention of the 19th century. Because, back in Victorian and, early 1800 times,
Much steampunk, very wow.
men, guys would just go out and invent the weirdest gadget bonds possible for, a lark.
And they were all steam-powered.
They were all steam-powered, yeah. So the first suspended monorail system was actually built in 1821 and was horse-drawn. Experiments continued throughout Europe, and especially in Germany, throughout the early and mid-1800s, and most early applications for the technology were industrial, with the first suspended monorail used for freight, built in Cheshunt. I don't know.
That's probably right.
Cheshunt.
Sounds English.
Cheshunt upon, Crappingham or whatever. England in 1925.
Yeah, experiments continued into the late 1800s when a very successful electric monorail used to carry coal was built at a power plant near Enos,
maybe?
Enos, New Jersey. The Russians also got into the game in 1897, building a short demonstration line in Odessa, Ukraine, designed to carry passengers.
Yeah.
I'm not good with places.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And then, the real precursor of the Shweeb, there were several bicycle monorails built in the 1800s. So the Hotchkiss monorail was built between Smithville and Mount Holly in New Jersey in 1892 and operated until 1897. I guess New Jersey just likes monorails, apparently.
Yeah, Jersey.
Joyzy.
Okay.
Going to Joyzy on the PATH train. Or something, I don't know.
Yeah, close enough, right?
I guess, I don't know. And then there were some other, bike monorails opened in Norfolk from 1895 to 1905, and in Great Yarmouth / Blackpool in the United Kingdom starting in 1896.
This is early stuff. This is really early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I guess everybody thought, well, this is like, that time that somebody built, a fully grade separated bike viaduct in LA County back in the, early 1900s, because, everyone was like, wow, I sure do love my penny farthing bicycle. It is such an innovation in technology. Let us, build car infrastructure for it, or build train infrastructure for the bicycle.
Just for fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, I think they were meant to be serious transportation solutions, because as we discussed, guys in the 1800s just really did love to create a gadget bond.
See, at least they got them done. They made them.
Wow. So we tried them. We know they're a dumb idea.
They didn't operate for very long, though. So.
Yeah, because they're a dumb idea.
No, they're not.
What's the point of a bicycle if I can go along one route with limited station options?
Sustainably powered rail travel.
Okay, so is a regular electric train.
Wrong.
Oh. My bad.
Yeah. I'm going to make a conservative argument now. Where do you think that electricity for your electric train comes from? That's right. Coal.
Probably a wind farm or something.
Probably a wind farm, yeah.
The UTA specifically pays to get the renewable energy.
Yeah.
Good UTA.
Yeah. Go UTA.
People going places. Go UTA today.
Now, if we had people on bicycles off-site providing pedal power to feed the train.
Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Yeah, that seems much more efficient.
Yeah.
I say we get okay, we build a standard gauge railway, right?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And then we build 30 bicycle monorails adjacent to it. And on each of these bicycle monorails, we put whatever the quad version of a tandem bicycle is on there. And we just have a whole bunch of guys on bicycle monorails pull the train.
Is this like those drinking tours in like small towns
With the
with like
yeah.
8 people on a bike and someone steering it?
Maybe, I
Those are
don't know.
hilarious. 30 bicycle monorails next to each other with quad bicycles just sounds like a highway.
Well, yeah, but it's pulling a train, like, filled with coal or whatever. So,
But life is a highway.
like, if I was, like, Isambard Kingdom Brunel and it was the year of our Lord, whatever, and I was building, my newest Brunel gauge railway line in the western half of the United Kingdom, then I would have simply done this instead of using coal because, as we discussed, 1800s guys did really just like making a gadgetbahn.
Well, I wouldn't say that's dark history. I just like dumb ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amusement parks are good places to go be amused by dumb ideas. What can I say?
A dumb idea. I like the Shweeb. I think the
What,
Shweeb is a good idea, and we should have more of it.
Sure.
Shweeb down Main Street.
But
Oh my
why don't we have
God.
Shweeb between office buildings downtown?
Many
Shweeb
people,
from
many
upper
people are
campus
saying
to
this.
lower campus?
Yes.
There are no technical reasons why that would
You could
not be a
even
good
like
idea at all.
you could even scale it up, right? Like so you superpower the electric assist in one of these things, and it pulls behind it like a whole pod with like chairs and stuff. So one guy pedals to take all of his colleagues to the meeting in the next building over.
See, the Shweeb reminds me of like Alpine tracks,
yeah.
like in Park City. It's
Yeah.
like it's an equally dumb idea, but it's very amusing.
It
Yeah.
sounds like it's the year 1910 and we're inventing the personal automobile and talking about all the great benefits it will bring
I think
and where we should put all the roads for
we should
it.
replace every green bike station with a Shweeb station.
It would get used more.
It would get used more.
And there would definitely be no operational problems to speak of.
We'll just quad track everything. Everybody can have their own track.
Yeah, it would just Shweeb itself.
Yeah. We'll have lightning fast monorail switching mechanisms so that you can change over to the next track if you want as well.
Yeah, and you won't get caught between it switching and full plummet to your death.
Yeah.
So
It'll be easy. We'll teach everyone like basic railroad signals so that they understand like where they can't Shweeb. And
we'll take a demonstration Shweeb into high school and
Yeah.
teach people how to get
Teach
in
them
and
how to
out and
Shweeb.
how to use the laundry rack to pick up a pod.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be great.
Shweeb.
Shweeb. So now that those are kind of like the weak suspended railways, but the mother of them all, the big daddy,
Now we're talking about real suspended railways
well,
that
we're
actually
just talking
provide a
about where the
practical
Shweeb comes
transportation
from.
system.
We're talking about Big Daddy Shweeb.
This is look. This is the Wuppertal Shweebahn is essentially a very a very large Shweeb.
I'm impressed by the size of this Shweeb.
Oh.
And this Shweeb
Bengals pretty far over the river.
just happens to be powered by electricity instead of feet.
What's the foot to electric ratio we can achieve with the mini Shweeb?
Oh, I'm crying.
Anyway, Big Daddy Shweeb. Now this is...
Oh dear.
Now with less feet.
Oh.
Kyle.
See, maybe if they pitched the Shweeb as baby Big Daddy Shweeb, maybe we'd get there.
Oh dear. Oh, I'm gonna have to take up my makeup before our meeting because it's completely fucked now. So it's, as we discussed, basically a very large Shweeb. And it
You know what? Maybe just go listen to our episode about this thing.
it takes it. It was first completed in 1901 and later expanded to its current 13.3 kilometer length in 1903. It takes advantage of the region's unique geography to run over a river for an extended period of time and is still extensively used today.
The River Wupper.
Is it?
That sounds
the
right.
Oh, I
Wuppertal
thought it was
Dangle
the
train.
river.
Wupper.
No, the Wuppertal is the town. So I thought
Yeah,
that the
the
river
river
was the
is
Ruhr.
Wupper.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
It's just without the tal on the end.
I'm imagining that Wuppertal probably means like Wuppertown
Probably.
in German,
The Wuppertal Dangle train.
or like Whooper upon tall in the English spelling. So yeah, it's 13.3 kilometers long. It was first constructed in 1901 and later extended to its current length in 1903. It has over 82,000 daily riders and is basically like a rapid transit service.
Yeah.
Basically, no, it is a rapid transit service.
Well, yeah, but it's not
just-
very rapid because it's a dangle train.
Okay, well, the rapid and rapid
Because it's just a
transit
large
rarely,
Shweeb.
rarely means raw speed in any system.
This is true, I suppose.
Well,
I mean,
either way,
ideally-
impressive ridership.
Yeah, for 13 kilometers as well, which is not a lot.
Okay, what other serious suspended railways do we have?
The Dresden Schwebahn, which is a suspended funicular railway, because men in the 1800s just really liked making gadgetbahns.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it's like higher capacity than like a pure cable system.
I suppose most like funiculars probably don't need a huge amount of capacity because they're like a staircase accelerator.
Well, it sounds expensive, but sure.
There's also 2 airport people movers in Dortmund and Dusseldorf.
Go figure, gotta have flashy airport people movers.
Yeah, and they're like each 2 kilometers long, so like a mile and a bit, mile and a sixth, or mile 0.6. There we go, mile and 6/10, mile and 3/5.
Airports be like, the less rails, the better.
Yeah. Preferably, we have autonomous pods on rubber tires.
The point.
Yeah. There are also a ton in Japan for some reason, most famously at the Ueno Zoo, although that's shut down at the moment. And then 2 of these in Shonan and Chiba are rapid transit operations similar to the Wuppertal Schwebahn.
Do you know if there's a geographic reason for doing it there too?
I think kind of just the urban form is a little like...
Not really something you could shove a traditional metro through.
Yeah, it would be hard to stick a regular viaduct over it, so they just did this instead.
Yeah, that's fair. This is like the same reason they use suspended monorail systems in industrial applications, like for moving parts around a factory.
Yeah, and
It's a
so
geometry
the Chiba monorail is 15.2 kilometers long, and it's the longest one in the world, beating out the Wuppertal one. And then the Shonan one is about 4.1 miles or 6.6 kilometers long.
Cool.
So, there you go. So, I have put as the final note for this episode, since this is going to be a short one, obviously, because, it's just a Shweeb.
It's Shweeb, yeah.
We're Shweebing.
We've talked about the Shweeb a good amount.
About,
I'd say.
I don't know,
I'd say
10 times as much as Tom Scott talked about the Shweeb. Therefore, we should get 10 times as many views.
Yeah, about 10 times as much as it needs to be talked about, too.
Oh, come now, Kyle.
Hey, Shweeb's important.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And cool. And the future of urban
The
transportation.
future is Shweeb.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you don't like it, you can Shweeb yourself.
You can go Shweeb yourself. And I should note that there may be a new one coming to Christchurch, New Zealand, because they're building a stadium there, and some business guy wants to put a Shweeb on top of it for tourism purposes.
I was going to ask what practical transportation need does this fulfill, but that works, too.
What practical transportation it fulfills is the need for grade-separated bicycle infrastructure.
Yeah, I do not feel the need to expand on that.
Well,
So, look, basically my whole point of this video is this is your brain on tech, bro.
Yeah.
What I learned from cycling through the dangerous streets of Tokyo on my bicycle for 3 years is that we need a suspended railway bicycle and not
The streets are too
a bike
dangerous.
lane.
I was surprised that an English teacher came up with this. But
I'm surprised it got built and lasted as long as it did before being sold off and the company disappearing.
Well, I mean, there might be more of them coming, like I said, because
Because
the
rich
Tom
people
Scott
want something
video-
flashy.
the Tom Scott video mentioned that it might be going to an amusement park in Korea, and then this business guy's like, we should build one on top of our stadium for tourism. So
You know, back in my day when rich people wanted something flashy,
And
they'd
then
build a gondola.
when I am the richest person alive, I will replace all green bike stations with a Shweeb.
oh, good
I'll
idea.
punch you in the face.
We should add Shweebs to the Bees Stadium.
Ooh, that might
We should
convince
turn-
Larry H. Miller to come back.
We should use the money the Miller family is raising just to be like, don't get too mad at us. Build Shweebs and have it be a concert venue that you can
Yeah.
Shweeb around.
Yeah, so everybody just kind of, Shweebs the whole time, listening to music, cheering in their Shweeb. Then when they get to the bottom, they go back up and they're cheering with...
I'm thinking about a drive-in movie theater, but with Shweebs.
Ooh, that would be awesome.
A Shweeb in movie theater.
Just kind of lay there and peer out the side, like looking at the movie.
Well, it'd be nice because you're already you're comfy. You're
Yeah.
laying down. Just put popcorn in your Shweeb and you're set.
Yeah, and you can if you need some extra milk duds or something, you can back your Shweeb up out of your schwarking spot. and go get your milk duds from the concession stand.
I think
It's a Shweeb through.
I think the best comparison for this might be Monorail hamster ball.
Shweeb through.
It's like a drive-through with more plastic.
And better for the environment.
A Shweeb by shooting.
Oh.
This is the future you pay us for.
We're gonna Shweeb this whole city.
Shweebed.
Robert
Oh my God.
sweeps us.
Wait, can we have Shweebification instead of busification? Oh, bustitution? No,
Shweebstitution.
Shweebstitution. That's it, yeah. Shweebstitution.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all are telling me I have to listen to this and publish it.
Yeah, you don't have to listen to it. There should be very little editing.
Yeah, there should be very little editing because this is one of our funniest episodes. This is the Red Line podcast has changed from a serious public transportation publication into a funny show. We're a comedy show now.
Don't do
We
drugs.
just talk about Shweebs.
Don't
We're
do drugs, get high,
unapologetically
kids,
pro
do
Shweeb.
Shweebs.
Unapologetically pro Shweeb since 2021.
That's going to be one of the new parts of the student chapter.
Of the Twitter tagline as well.
Yeah. Oh,
Kyle is not having as much fun with the Shweeb as we are.
No, I'm over here dead.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Well,
Better take me on the what are those things they
The
carry around
suicide
corpses?
roller coaster.
No, what are those things they carry on corpses in?
Hearse.
Yeah, a Schwartz.
you want a Shweeb house?
A Schwartz.
Open casket to the extreme, right?
Yeah, we just pull your dead body around the whole city in a Shweeb.
Dangle around.
For your funeral, and then dump you into the plastic vat so that you can join the circle of Shweeb life.
Well, this would also make the Rio Grande plan useless because we could just Shweeb above ground.
Right. So instead of a frontrunner double tracking and electrification, we put a Shweeb over frontrunner's current alignment, and frontrunner can keep running and such. But commuters are going to want a Shweeb.
Or just complete Shweebstitution. Or, like the auto train, we could load Shweebs
Yeah,
into the front
we have
of it.
a little clothing rack instead of the bike racks in the bottom of the middle car. We have a Shweeb rack.
Mm-hmm. Then it would be cool to customize your own Shweeb, give it a paint job and yeah.
That'd be awesome.
But no skirts though.
No skirts.
That's the main issue.
That is really a legitimate issue with this thing. Is
you
that
can
you're
put
wearing...
those LCDs on the bottom that you can turn on and off, or the windows they have on the new Boeing.
Oh yeah. You can turn up, but the trouble is you have to look through your legs to see out the front of the thing. So if anyone's looking back, they can just see up your skirt.
A one-way mirror.
Every Shweeb is now a one-way mirror.
Yeah, and then blinds you if you look at it.
Lasers. Orbital lasers.
Maybe like Shweeb comes with like a shared pair of pants you can put on.
Yeah, when you go into the Shweeb station and select your Shweeb from, like, the clothing rack of Shweebs, you can also go to an actual pants rack if you're wearing a skirt and pull some on.
Yeah, someone will come up and be like, "Good day, would you like a pair of Shweeb pants?" Oh my god.
You see, and then, yeah, so the real moral of the story, though, is if you want better biking infrastructure, just make a bike lane, and that'll be a lot easier than Shweeb pants and a Shweeb through and Shweeb in movies.
Comedy aside, I'll give you two takeaways from this story. One, this might be a better refutation of the concept of automobility than we did in actual episode 1.
Okay.
And two, if you look at projects like UDOT's Mountain View Corridor, where they're building like a fucking bike freeway next to the regular freeway,
It's true. Like, because they've, like, grade separated the whole bike path.
Yeah. So maybe this is a great way to highlight that we shouldn't make our society look like that. We should make it look like bikes on the
What you're
ground.
saying is we should replace the Mountain View Corridor path with a Shweeb, and you can hook your regular bicycle up to the Shweebs and, like, carry it around on the bottom like a little bike rack.
What I'm gonna say is Kyle sounds very anti-Shweeb, and we should get him.
Yeah.
What, you gonna run me over with a Shweeb?
Monorail! Monorail!
Yeah, you're gonna be in the Shweeb.
Monorail! No, Kyle, you see, I'm doing a Simpsons reaction here. Kyle, what you're doing here is very boring. We don't need to fix the potholes. I mean bike infrastructure. We need a monorail. I mean Shweeb.
You'll be on the Shweeb, and I'm gonna rear end you so hard.
Yeah. Yeah, your comically large spring will be, like, broken.
Oh, I'm gonna have to get your insurance.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get Shweeb insurance.
Shweeb insurance, if you will.
Shweeb insurance.
Yeah. Well,
I kind of look. This is the reason why I should never be an eccentric billionaire, because I would actually build, like, an entire, like, municipality built entirely around the Shweeb. Like, just spend $1 billion to build, like, a Shweeb community.
see, if you build it, they will come.
That's right. Induced demand.
Yep.
Induced demand.
It's like Daybreak, but with Shweebs instead of cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all the, like 80% of kids will Shweeb to school instead of walk.
And, 10% of workers will Shweeb to work instead of driving.
Ideally, 10% of workers would drive to work, and 90% would Shweeb. But a 90% Shweeb mode share.
That's pretty good.
Sorry, I was late for work, boss. I was waiting in
I
the
was in
queue
the
of
Shweeb
Shweebs
traffic jam.
behind the one person who was pedaling too slow.
Well, but one of the ideas of the original system was if someone was going too slow, you just bump into them and help them pedal faster.
Yeah. Soon you get like much power.
That is a hard benefit over cars.
See,
because you have the comically large spring, so.
I'm sure you could also put like an automated Shweeb on it if there was like a big Shweeb jam.
Oh, great. Self-driving Shweeb.
Well, we're already putting electric assist in the Shweeb, so...
we should add a brake, we should add a throttle, and maybe a seatbelt, right?
Yeah, because you might, let's say you're going like Shweebing at 60.
On a Shweebway.
Yeah, a full ass Shweebway. That sounds kind of like Suaboy. So you're going like 60 on the Shweebway, and you kind of bump into someone too hard for your comically large spring to absorb.
Mm-hmm.
You need the seat belt to keep you from falling out of your Shweeb and onto the ground. When the plexiglass on the front just shatters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tempered Shweeb.
Shweeb glass.
Well, either way, we've Shweebed a lot today.
We have,
and I think we've learned
today.
a lot about ourselves and about the Shweeb.
Yeah, but
and
seriously,
how good it is.
But seriously, just build a protected bike lane. It's a lot cheaper, and even if it's not as fun to say protected bike lane as it is to say Shweeb, It's more practical.
You could have the Shweeb Memorial protected bike lane.
I'm gonna lobby if the city ever starts naming bike lanes for it to be named the Shweeb Memorial Bike Lane.
I don't know why you wouldn't have, like, adopt a highway, but adopt a bike lane.
You can adopt sewer drains in Salt Lake City.
Oh, sweet.
And
We
then
should
what?
adopt a sewer drain.
And then
The
what,
Red
you
Line
clean
Podcast
them?
sewer drain, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not opposed to having a sewer drain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, build bike lanes. If you're listening to this on YouTube, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're on Apple or Spotify, please remember to leave a rating. It does help. If you like what we do here, you can subscribe to us on Patreon starting at $3 a month.
$1.
Starting at $1
We don't have
a
any
month.
$1 a month
To
Greenliner.
get early access to our content, and at $3 a month to get access to Patreon exclusive content.
That's correct. Now here's all the people who paid us to make this steaming pile of crap.
That's right. At
Frontrunner, double tracked, electrified, and underground tier, we have
Zach Adams,
at regular frontrunner tier.
Phobos2390, Mike Christensen, and Curtis Herring.
Then $5 a month at our red line tier. We have Brian Smith, Christopher Whaley, Jacob Whitecotton, and Robert P. Walsh.
$3 blue line tier. Second best line. We have Just Cuz, Alex Stokelski, Ben Busath, DJ Will Watkins,
Hi, Will.
Ethan McDonald, Gonzo12, Jack Dean, John Heron Gorman, Martine Hecker Martinez, Old Trolley, Scott Harris, and Seth. I still like the song rendition of this one from 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, that's not happening again.
Yeah.
Aww.
I'm just gonna say, Shweeb into your heart tonight. I could shweeb into your heart. We could shweeb together through the Shweeb avenues. Shweeb into your heart. There you go.
Good night.
Good night and good luck.